Jesus freak here. Now I've been thinking. Yesterday I commented in several chat rooms, some of my own and some that weren't my own. I had this project, and I said it's technically finished. And I'm not sure which is a more likely explanation why I can't just put it out. Is it because I'm a perfectionist, or am I just a Debbie Downer when it comes to my own work? And I've done a lot of the work in question, to the point that under a pseudonym I'm actually credited on 2 projects that were officially released. And this is something that I've been working on in various degrees for almost a decade now. You see, there's a project, and I got involved initially just a little bit here and there to help a friend who needed a little bit of help translating stuff when a mutual friend of ours who wasn't able to translate because he wasn't around. So I'd pitch in. And then after another group had some issues and decided they couldn't work on the show anymore that I was helping out with here and there, I said, what if I gave it a try? And a couple of my friends that I had been helping with it that were like if you want our help, we'll see what we can do. And I said, I'm probably crazy for having gone that route. But I was concerned that any other way we would have wound up with an incompetent group taken over for a competent one. And looking at what happened during that time period when we worked on it, and when we were unable to work on it, for one reason or another. For example, a translator having issues, or our editor being diagnosed with cancer, or whatever else happened. It just sucked the life out of us. When we weren't able to do it, those who tried to fill in for us didn't do a very good job, and proved my point. I looked back at our work after we were no longer needed because, we're still needed for a hole in the middle of the series. But newer episodes had taken over by Crunchyroll, so we didn't have to do it anymore. And I said, I think the big difference between what we were doing and what everyone else before us was doing was we put a lot more focus into the translation. Not that we didn't Not that we slouched on the typesetting. It wasn't as fancy. It was more than competent. Every bit as good as the best people who came before us, I think. But I said we focused on the translation first and foremost, and I think that's what made us better. And I think other people noticed that we were more competent at this stuff. And even me, working without the help of my friends, who I knew were better suited for this job or that job. You know, they put out about, I think it was 100 episodes or so. And then I put out like 100 or so. Maybe 150. And I said, my own work is not as good as what the group did. But it shows the same level of effort. And heck, not only am I able to leech off the cachet of the group's work, even though I'm not using the same tag, so it's like, no, this isn't the group's work, this is my work. But they knew, that still someone from that group. And still some people from that group sometimes would jump in and help. And it wasn't as good. But I think the cachet helped get it recognized. When people realized there was, even if it wasn't to the level of the group, there was still plenty of competence there. And the results were so much better than what came before. And that spoke for itself. I tend to believe that, if you're doing a better job than everyone else, you don't have to brag about it, your work will show. But over time, I became kind of disenchanted. And I don't know how much of that was, I just felt there's so much left to do. And how much was the flack I was getting from inside the circle. Or how much of it was just my own insecurities. And it's not a show I would have watched on my own. My friend in Portugal basically forced me to sit down and watch a little bit of it with him. And I got into it. At the time, I didn't really have anything else I was into. Sailor Moon had been over for years. Before that, my big thing was Ninja Turtles. Those were really the only things I was really into. Maybe Lyrical Nanohot. That was over too. So, I was kind of floating aimlessly. And this project found its way into my lap. And I'd keep working on projects in the past and get a few episodes done. And then the project would fall apart. I was lucky. The project did fall apart, but not until I was involved with about 100 episodes, rather than the usual 3, 4, 5 episodes. And occasionally we come back to it. I kick-started my friends working on another project on that series about a week or so ago. I only took it about 10 minutes into a 2-hour movie. Managed to keep them inspired enough to finish. Right now, they're going through a review before they release it. And before that, before they finished it, we were thinking, we'll do this and we'll call it a night. We've been working on this for almost a decade, and we're kind of burned out. We'll call it a night. But they changed their mind. And they're like, you know what? Instead of saying this is the end, we're going to say this is a new beginning. And we're going to try to see if we can get through some of these things we started and never finished up. And maybe we'll be, get back off the ground. Who knows? Maybe I can do that too. Jesus, freak out.